Hello everyone, I Professor Bhavik Kumar M. Kataria welcomes you into the video series of Information and Network Security. We are discussing unit number 5. In our last session we have discussed simple hash function and requirements of simple hash function. Today we are going to discuss cryptographic hash function and secure hash algorithm SHA. So let's see what we have already discussed in our earlier session. So guys, if you are still remain to watch our earlier session, so you can click on I button at top right corner and you can watch that video and come back here into the today's session. So let's see the highlights of previous session. In that session we have discussed hash table, which is used in place of symbol table. So whatever the limitations of symbol tables were there, so that limitation is going to be overcome inside the hash table, and hash table is producing the key values by using hash function, and according to those number of generated key values we are able to store the values inside the hash table. So that is the basic fundamental of hash table. Then after we have discussed collision. So whenever we are getting the key values by produced through the hash function, so suppose for the more than two values, if there is a same key value generated by the hash function, so we are not able to store more than one value into the single slot. So this thing is not as a collision. Get it? So there are various collision resolution techniques, main that is open addressing and chaining. We have discussed various hash functions like division method, multiplication method, mid-square method and folding method. At that time we have discussed load factor alpha, and alpha requires less than 1 for the good hash function. Collision resolution techniques we have discussed. In terms of open addressing we have discussed three techniques: linear probing, quadratic probing and double hashing, and then after we have discussed chaining method. So these are the all about collision resolution techniques. At last we have discussed application of hash functions. So hash functions were useful into the various categories like database indexing, symbol table, electronic libraries, parse matrix, file signature, game boards and graphics. So that was everything about the hash functions. So let's start today's session without wasting the time. Our today's topic is cryptographic hash function and SHA. Get it? So let's see first from the cryptographic hash function. So first we will understand what is the need of cryptographic hash functions, why we are going to use cryptographic hash function. So as we know, whenever we are transmitting the message, so most of the time our message is too long. It is carrying more number of data as an information, and same thing, all these messages are with the different length, like some of the message are shorter, some of the messages are longer. So it is all messages are not with the equal size of length. Get it? So length of every messages are different in case of transmission. So that is the huge problem in terms of transmission. So let's see what we are going to do. Here we are applying cryptographic hash function. So after applying the cryptographic hash functions, we are getting the L bit data message. Get it? We are going to convert our message into the specified fixed L bit data. So these are the fixed bits. So we can transmit our message with the fixed number of bit, and whatever we are getting, this output is known as a hash digest or a message digest. It means by applying the cryptographic hash function on any arbitrary message with the any specific length, we are getting a fixed number of bits of message, and this message is known as a message digest or hash digest. So in short, we are reducing the size of message. Whatever the message is too long, with the number of different bit length, we are going to convert it into the fixed number of bits, and it is able to transmit whenever we are transmitting the message. So we will transmit with the fixed bit size. So question should be asked to you, what is message digest or what is hash digest? So you can answer this question very well. Let's see how hash function is defined. So h of 01 star tends to 01L. It means star means any number of bits. It should be 64 bit, 32 bit, whatever. Get it? And here we are getting the fixed size of length. So let's see how we are going to use the cryptographic function with the different cases. So first, use of cryptographic hash functions. We will apply cryptographic hash function into the message authentication. So let's see how cryptographic hash functions is useful into the message authentication. Suppose here there is a two parties, Dhruvi and Bhavik. So here Dhruvi is sending some particular message towards the Bhavik. So what is going on? Let's see, that is actual message M. Now this we are going to apply hash function on this message M. It is our hash functions we are applying onto this message M. Now we have a actual original message plus one output of applied hash function on message. So here we are going to append both this thing. Here we are going to append both this thing, and then after we will apply one encryption here. So there is one key we are using for the encryption and decryption. We can use the symmetric encryption as well as we can use asymmetric encryption also. But right now we are not going to specify the symmetric and asymmetric. Right now just keep in your mind, here we are going to make the encryption of this appended message. Appended message is carrying original message plus applied hash function output. And then after we are applying encryption on that particular entire message. So now we have one message which is encrypted and message is carrying actual message plus one output of applied hash function. So this entire thing we will transmit toward the destination party, towards the Bhavik. Now what will happen towards the destination side? Whenever Bhavik will receive the message, so first Bhavik will put the decryption here according to the key. Key is well known for the both the party, sender and receiver. So receiver will apply the key, and according to this that particular key, Bhavik will be able to decrypt the message. Now whatever the decrypted message is available with the Bhavik, so that is message plus it is carrying one h of M. It means output of applied hash function. Get it? And also Bhavik has a hash function which is applied toward the which is applied by the Dhruvi here at a sender party. So what Bhavik will do? Bhavik will compare. Bhavik will apply the hash function and Bhavik will extract the message, and then after Bhavik will compare that message with the h of M which is applied on original message. So if both this thing is going to be same, then Bhavik will receive the actual message without any type of disturbance, interference or misleading data. So if you are able to know how we are able to use cryptographic hash function here, get it? So that is case number 1. Here we are going to concatenate message plus hash code. Get it? So both this thing encrypted here. So what is the advantage of encrypted both this thing? We will get authentication plus confidentiality. Get it? So by applying the hash function or a hash code, we are getting authentication. Like Bhavik will able to know that this message is sent by the Dhruvi. And confidentiality means Bhavik is receiving the message without any type of interference. That is confidentiality. It means message is confident. No one can interact into the message in between the channel. So that is our first case. In that case, we have applied hash code plus encryption. So let's see now about the second case. Here we are going to make a little bit modification. In our previous case, we have encrypted original message plus hash code. Right now we are going to encrypted hash code only. So after applying the encryption to the hash code, we will append message plus hash code at a sending side from Dhruvi's side, and we will send this appended message towards the channel. And whenever Bhavik will receive this message, so this message is appended with the encrypted hash code and original message. So if you will look here, only hash code is encrypted, message is not encrypted. So whenever Bhavik will apply the hash code and decrypt the hash code, so whenever Bhavik will compare the message, and if both this thing is going to be same, so it means Bhavik is receive actual message. But thing is that there is no confidentiality, there is authentication only. Bhavik will be able to know that this message is forwarded by the Dhruvi. But in terms of channel, message was not encrypted, so there is no guarantee towards the confidentiality of message. Maybe someone can interpret this message from the channel because message was not encrypted. So case number 2, here only hash code is encrypted, and by doing this thing in terms of outcomes, we will get authentication only. We are not getting any type of confidentiality. Now let's see one more case, case number 3. Here we are using one secret key value. Like in our case number 2, what we did, here we did the encryption of hash code only, not encrypted message. But in place of encryption of hash code, here we are using the secret key value. Get it? So what we will do, first we will take an original message, and then after we will apply the secret key value with the original message. So by appending original message and secret key value, then after we will apply hash code on this appended things. So after applying the hash code, we will append that output to the original message. So now this entire appended thing is going to be sent into the channel. So what happens? We are not making any type of encryption on secret value or into the message. Get it? So here we are not going to use any type of encryption, not in hash code and not in original message. Here we are going to totally remove the encryption techniques. So why we are going to do this? So thing is that whenever we will use the encryption, so it will take some amount of time from the sending side. So suppose we will use encryption only for the hash code, so that encryption techniques will require some amount of time. But whenever we will make an encryption of hash code as well as original message, so it will require large amount of time for the encryption process. So our communication maybe get a various types of delay due to the applying encryption techniques. So what is the thing here? Whenever from the destination side, receiver party, Bhavik will receive the message. So first Bhavik will apply the secret key value which is shared by the sender. This thing is same thing. This secret key value is shared at both the end, sender and receiver, like encryption key. So after applying this secret key value, receiver will apply the hash code, and then after he will compare with the actual hash code message. Get it? So suppose he will get a same result. It means receiver is receiving the original message. But in this message only authentication is there. There is no confidentiality, because again we are not going to use any type of encryption. So receiver will be able to know that this message is forwarded by the Dhruvi, but there is no confidentiality in between the channel, like someone can extract the message from the channel. Now one more case. In this case we are applying encryption as well as secret key value, both this thing. Like in our case number first, we have applied encryption only. In our case number 2, we have applied encryption on hash code only. In our case number 3, we have applied secret key value only in place of encryption. But right now in this case we are applying encryption as well as secret key value. So whatever the original message from the sender side, first sender will apply the appended on original message plus secret key value. This appended data is going to the hash code, and after applying the hash code on this appended thing, entire output as well as original message will be appended again, and then after sender will put encryption on this entire thing. Again sender and receiver will share the encryption key as well as secret key value. So this entire message is going to be transmitted on channel, and whenever receiver party will receive the message, so same like sending side, first receiver will apply the decryption by using the shared key, and after applying the decryption receiver will apply the secret value. So by applying decryption and secret key value, receiver will apply the hash code, and after applying the hash code, whatever the output is available, so receiver will compare this output with the hash code. Suppose both this thing is same, then meaning is that receiver received the actual message. So whatever the message received by the receiver here, that message is producing authentication plus confidentiality both. Why? Because here we have used encryption of entire message as well as hash code. We have applied encryption on message as well as hash code. But thing is that limitation of this case, it may take a more amount of time during the encryption. Why? Because we are doing the encryption on actual message as well as hash code. Now we have also used the secret key value. So that's why here in terms of outcomes we are getting authentication plus confidentiality both. So let's see now, after discussing this 4 case, we have discussed for the message authentication. Same thing we can apply the cryptographic hash function on digital signature also. So for the digital signature we can generate more 2 cases. So total 6 number of cases can be occurred, 4 for the message authentication and 2 for the digital signature. So right now we are going to discuss the properties of cryptographic hash function. So first property, it is applicable to any size of input. It means like whatever we have discussed in our first slide, that is any type of message or any length of message can be converted into the fixed length of L bit. Get it? So that is the main application of hash function. Second thing, produce fixed length output. So whatever the L bit output we are getting, that is with the fixed length. So it means whenever we are transmitting our message into the channel, so we are transmitting the fixed length message. Third thing, one-way function. As per our discussion, suppose we are applying this cryptographic hash function to the digital signature. So we can generate 2 more cases for the digital signature, and it is used for the intrusion detection or a virus detection. So that is one more application. Fourth one, that is weak collision, and fifth one, that is strong collision. So that is the property of a cryptographic hash function. Some of the hash functions are available with the weak collision and some of the cryptographic hash functions are available with the strong collision property. So weak collision means for whatever the given x value, suppose we have x values, so it is hard to find same type of y value such that h of x is equal to h of y. It means that is happening into the very rare cases. Look like a simple hash function. In terms of simple hash function, there was a problem of collision, and we have discussed various types of collision resolution techniques like open addressing and chaining. But right now the possibilities of collision is very less as compared to simple hash function. And same thing, whenever we will use the strong collision techniques, so again it will reduce the more number of possibility of the collision. So here we can say that it is very hard to difficult to get a pair of xy where such that h of x is equal to h of y. It means that is the rare possibilities of getting the collide values. So this thing, so that was everything about the properties of hash function. So guys, if you have any queries or any doubt in your mind, so you can write your questions into the comment box and you can ask to me. Now we are going to discuss crypt analysis. So what is crypt analysis in terms of hash function? So whatever the values we are getting with this size of L bit, so in terms of we can conclude both this thing, n size of n number of bits message plus we are giving one fixed length input. So after producing two inputs, one n bit data and one L bit data, in terms of output again we are getting the L bit data. That is crypt analysis. So what we are doing here, suppose there is a very long message, so we are dividing entire message into the number of different parts with the, like here we are dividing message part x1, x2, x3 up to the xk. So we can divide our message into the smaller number of parts, and we are making the size of n bits, different slots of n bits. It means every slot's size of every slots remains same. Suppose n is equal to 32 bit, so every slot of carrying the 32 bit, it means we have to divide the slots into the equal number of bits. Like we cannot do that like one slot of 16 bit and one slot of 32 bit and one slot of 64 bit. Suppose we are dividing into the 32 bit, so every slot is carrying 32. Suppose we are dividing into the 64, so every slot is carrying 64 bit. So let's see with the first division x1, we are applying one fixed size L bit, whatever we are getting with the cryptographic hash function, that L bit plus n bit data. So by using again this cryptographic hash functions, we will get again L bit data. This L bit data we will produce as a input with the another slot of message. Again n bit plus L bit, it will generate one more L bit output, and again we will apply n bit from the third slot. So same thing, suppose there is a k slots are there, so we can do this procedure with the cryptographic function into the k times. So finally we will get L bits data as a, by applying a cryptographic hash function on message, that is known as h of m, and again it will known as a hash digest or a message digest. So in previous case, what we did in terms of entire message, we have applied cryptographic hash functions, but here we are dividing entire message into the number of different slots, and by making the message of various slots, we are applying this cryptographic hash function individually. Now our next topic is secure hash algorithm, SHA. So first see what is the need of secure hash algorithm SHA, why we are going to use SHA algorithm. So it is produced by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, in place of MD4 and MD5 algorithm. Before the secure hash algorithm, computer network using the MD4 and MD5 algorithm. So what was the role of MD4 and MD5 algorithm? MD4 and MD5 algorithm producing the 128-bit output. So MD5 is carrying 512-bit data and 128-bit fixed length. So by combining this 512-bit data as well as 128-bit length, MD5 is producing 128-bit output. Now if you will look about the entire message, so here entire message is going to be divided into the different slots like M1, M2, M3 and up to the Mn. Another thing, we are producing L-bit input. So how much bit we will use as a fixed length? So we will use here 64-bit, MD and MD4 and MD5 using 64-bit length as a fixed size input. Why? Because length of message is equal to L, so L should be less than of 2 raised to 64, and so that's why if we are keeping length less than equal to 2 raised to 64, so we have to keep L bit as a 64-bit data. And now in terms of 512 bits, message length is only 448 bits, so remaining bit there is added by as a padding. 1 bit is for the padding. So padding bit is represented with the 1 following by number of zeros. So 1 following by number of different zeros you can use as a padding bit. So 448-bit data plus 1 padding bit, total bit is going to be considered as a 512-bit. So 512-bit message plus 128-bit fixed input produce the 128-bit output. Same thing it is going to be repeated for the message 2, message 3 up to the message n. And finally MD4 and MD5 producing 128-bit output. Now this 128-bit output is generated by the initialization of buffer. This initialization buffer is using 160-bit. How this 160-bit is going to be used? They use the total 5 register with the 32-bit, each register with the 32-bit. So if you will multiply 32 by 5, so you will get total 160-bit as a initialization buffer. If you will look here, so there are 8 digits inside the register. So this 8 digits, all 8 digits are carrying 4-bit. So 8 multiplied by 4, single register is carrying 32-bit. So finally we are using the 160-bit initialization buffer and we are getting 128-bit output. But we require 160-bit output in place of 128-bit. So that's why we are going to use secure hash algorithm, SHA. So that is the actual need of SHA. Why? Because in earlier cases we were used MD4 and MD5, which is producing 128-bit output, and we require 160-bit output. So that's why we are going to use SHA, secure hash algorithm. There is a 3 variant of SHA, SHA1, SHA2 and SHA3. But right now we are going to discuss only for the SHA1 that is producing 160-bit output. So hope you are able to know what is the requirement of secure hash algorithm. In place of MD5, whenever we will put SHA1, so it will generate 160-bit output. Remaining structure will remain same. Again you have to divide entire message into the number of different parts with the same size. In terms of 512-bit, you can also use 1024-bit. Same padding bit, you have to use 1 followed by number of zeros. Fixed size L bit you have to produce as a input, and initialization buffer you have to use, and then after at a final result, 4th step, you will receive the 160-bit output by the SHA secure hash algorithm. So hope you are understanding very well. In our next session we will start unit number 6 and we will start next session with the message authentication code. Thank you very much.